Zihuatanejo has 3 distinct tourist areas, and today my local guide Maria and I are going to help you decide where you might want to base yourself on this gorgeous slice of Mexico's Pacific coast. Zihuatanejo itself, Ixtapa, or this hidden gem that I'll save for last. We'll guide you through what's special in this area, warn you about the tourist traps, and share a few secrets that only locals know about. Let's dive in. Let's start by getting you oriented. The airport's here, and it's about a 20-minute drive to the center of Zihua and Ixtapa, and 40 minutes to the charming surf town of Troncones we'll hit last. We'll get started with Zihuatanejo, or Zihua as the locals call it. I've wanted to come to Zihuatanejo for like 20 years. One of my all-time favorite movies is The Shawshank Redemption.
I'll tell you where I'd go. Zihuatanejo.
That final shot where they're on the beach in Zihuatanejo was actually shot in the Virgin Islands, not here. So I had always imagined Zihua to be a small, remote, idyllic beach town with a dirt road, some fishermen and thatched roof buildings everywhere. Not quite. Turns out it's not such a small town with a population of well over 100,000 people, and looks a lot more like Monte Carlo to me than the closing scene of The Shawshank Redemption. But if you're after that Shawshank version of Zihua, our last stop up the coast will take you there. But sticking with Zihua for now, the city's built around beautiful Zihua Bay with these dramatic hills surrounding the bay. And it's especially beautiful in the evenings with these sparkling lights. There are a few things I love about Zihua, starting with the fact that you have 3 beach options here. In my opinion, Playa Ropa is the best because it's close to the center of town but still has long stretches of sand, with lots of hotel and dining options all along the beach.
We are in Playa La Ropa. That is one of the most common beaches in Zihuatanejo to relax.
Then there's this beach right next to Zihua's commercial center, but doesn't feel nearly as nice as Playa Ropa. Your last Zihua beach option is to hop on one of these boats and make a day of it at Playa Las Gatas. You can't drive there, and the boat's a much funner option anyway. There are no hotels out here, but lots of restaurants and places that will rent you beach loungers for the day and bring you food and drinks. Too crowded and touristy for me, but people seem to be having fun out here. If beaches aren't your thing, then head into the center of town. You'll find that Zihua has more dining options than any of the 3 places we're visiting today. From super cheap eats, to more mid-range places, some right on the beach, and some fancy options too. There's a promenade downtown that goes next to the river and along the beach, a favorite with locals around sunset. You can shop for local goods at this artisans market and pick up some essential items. Beer,
Okay.
so bottle or can,
Oh, yeah.
or bring home some classy souvenirs. Which is the municipal market, is it?
Yeah, so you can find everything.
Yeah.
Fruit and meat and bread and crabs and whatever you want.
Smorgasbord of stuff. Zihua also has a lot of hotel options, mostly in the boutique category that are smaller and more intimate. If you're looking for an all-inclusive large resort, we'll hit that at our next stop. Here's Ixtapa. These are big hotels. These are super big hotels. Wow. Ixtapa is the home of the all-inclusive mega resort in this part of Mexico. It also has a beautiful, long white sand beach. Why do most people come to Ixtapa? I mean, it feels to me like it's just a tourist town. Is that true?
Yeah, it's very tourist. Like if you are in Mexico and you want to make like a holiday for a group of people or a convention and you don't want to go to Acapulco or Puerto Vallarta, this is another option. Like
So a lot of
Ixtapa.
conventions?
Yeah, like big events because there's a lot of rooms and like
Right.
for bigger crowds.
I mean, my sense is it's super commercial. It feels like it's all like really large resorts.
Yeah, it's
is that
large
right?
resorts, and many of those were like create like in the 90s or the 80s, so they have like a different
Yeah.
sense of style
Yeah.
or like an idea of holidays.
Yeah, okay. Looks like it's really well managed. Like the streets are super clean and it just feels very kind of cold and like.
Yeah, it's like not very intimate or private. It's like everything very commercial, a lot of people, a lot of shops.
Our last stop is in Troncones, and Maria welcomed me to town by stopping here.
So this place
Yeah.
is the best cocos fríos.
3 cocos, por favor. Salud.
It's so cold, it's so fresh. Troncones is the polar opposite of Ixtapa. This little surf town has everything I look for in a small resort town, starting with beautiful long beaches where you can walk for miles. Troncones isn't just great for beach walks, it's also famous for surfing. I think because this is a surf town, a mellow, open, welcoming vibe just seems to permeate the culture here. Everything just feels more relaxed and laid back compared to Zihua and Ixtapa. We're coming into downtown Troncones, city center.
City center, yeah.
Definitely a little bit smaller than Zihuatanejo.
Way small. Indigo, my favorite coffee shop, they have gelato, and it's like an Argentinian place, like a very lovely Argentinian family. And then here is Café Corazón, that is like a vegan coffee shop.
In terms of outdoor activities, Troncones has the most to offer in this part of Mexico. Stop by Costa Navita Tours to find that perfect activity. Things like this cave hike, a kayak trip in the mangroves off the beach, or maybe a surf lesson. And what trip to Mexico is complete without meeting the Iguana King?
¿Cómo la ves? ¡Córrele! Una foto la que quiere ir con este consentido.
And Troncones also has a lot of charming small hotels and Airbnbs to choose from. There are lots of small restaurants, bars, and cafes here. A nice mix of Mexican cuisine and more Western-style cafes and restaurants. There's also charming shops selling clothing, homewares, and lots of other locally made products. I really liked Zihua, love Troncones, and you know how I feel about Ixtapa. I hope this helps you know what area is best for you. If you want to know where to stay, I visited 20 hotels in the region at every price point and paid my own way to test drive 7 resorts here. My video about Zihua's 6 best resorts is here. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.